I got a question. First of all, shot a cock off on Charlie Lawn, and I'm not in Hoboken. What is my question? Shot a cock off on Charlie Lawn, I'm not in Hoboken. I got a question today. Question is, why don't we as kids to our parents, this sounds crazy, right? Why don't we play their basses? You ever ask yourself, it's like, why we don't play the basses our parents played? Like the 66 P bass, or the 73 jazz bass, or the 82 Olympic, or the 78 Music Man. Why we don't play these basses? Well, today, we're gonna see why. If you just hold on. First, let's start out with the oldest of the oldest. Why my pop played this bass? All right, so this is a 66. It's been modified. Let's look at it. Well, let's do this first. So this is a 66, and it's been modified. It's got the DiMaggio's, the old DiMaggio's in it, and it's got a tone master preamp in it. Okay. Yet still, this is a 66. And of course, you know, it's got a battery in it. All right. So, first thing you want to do is tune it up. I just couldn't figure out why my pop didn't want to use this bass. Pants like they get dirty or something. All right, so first thing we'll do is tune it. Wow. Wow. You know the craziest thing about this is, I haven't touched this bass in like years, and it's still closely in tune. Well, that could be a reason too why Pop played this bass. He didn't have to worry about, you know, dropping it on the ground and picking it back up and it'd be way out of tune or neck all jacked up. The 66, this 66 is just amazing feeling bass. The neck is amazing. The whole vibe of the bass is amazing. I mean, of course it got modifications on it, but yet and still, the playability of this bass is unbelievable. All right, now I don't have the preamp on, so what you hearing is basically what the pickup sounds like. Let's go to the front pickup, because basically when the bass came out, it had only one pickup, set of pickups, and that's what this one. And a lot of people don't play these basses because, first of all, some of them had serious weight, especially from the 50s, man, up to about the 60 something. They had enormous weight. They didn't have weight, they had enormous weight. This one is very light. But the neck, it's the roll of the neck, the feel of the neck, the sound of the neck. This is real rosewood, maple on rosewood. It's just, the whole bass vibe's right, man. It's like, I keep asking myself, why don't I play it though? You know, Pop played it, Grandpa Pop. And he played it with that. got it, what did I do? I put a preamp, I put another set of pickups in it, put a set of preamp in it, put a preamp in it, and it went from this to this. Or this. Or this. I don't know why pop. Well, the question is, I don't know why I don't play it. I don't know, man. Anyway, let's move on. So the 66 Grand Pop played. Y'all kept hearing that popping noise. I didn't have the cord all the way in. Move this out the way. So, my dad, when he came along, he came into the Fender Jazz. This is a 73 Jazz. Pretty much all original except for the covers. I changed the covers. Might as well admit it, I changed the covers. And the strings are different. But it's a 73 Jazz, Mocha. It's a cool bass. It has its quirks. Well, people say pros and cons. Pros is, I just love the bass. The con is, why don't I play it? I don't know. So, let's see. Man, it's been a minute since I played this. Yet still, the neck is still straight as the day I straightened it up and put it in storage. It was still straight then. It's still straight now. So let's see what we got here. Rear pickup. I forgot that the jazz bass back in the 70s had front pickup and rear pickup. So I just did the front pickup. Let's do the rear pickup. Both pickups. So why am I not playing this bass? My hands look ashy, but it's the gloves I had on. But why am I not playing this bass? It's a great bass. It's light. It's old. It's got that vintage smell. It's got that feel. The neck is so amazing. The whole bass. This is the bass that made history for a lot of people. I mean, even in, let's go to the rear pickup and then put it all bass. Both pickups all bass. treble. Now I got the amp turned real low, so because you know you got power basses coming up. So my dad decided he wanted to get into the active mode. All right, before he went into the, or your dad, and before he went and completely left this bass, he still had this bass, but then he picked up another bass because during that year, the 70s and 80s, active basses were beginning to hit the scene. But if you're gonna get something that you can say, oh, when everybody see this bass, they already know what's about to happen. Check it out. So Dad left the Fender Jazz and went into the Alembic. This is a distillant, or distillant. Some people call it distillant or distillant. This is an Alembic distillant. The only difference between this bass here and the originality of it is it has a tone muffler preamp in it now. It did come with a preamp, Olympic preamp, an Alembic, not Olympic, an Alembic pickup. So it now has a tone muffler in it with a 3-way cut, mid-cut in it. So my dad goes into the Alembic. These basses were made starting in the 70s. I mean, I think I had the 73 Series 1 that was just amazing bass. I mean, everything Alembic builds is amazing. This bass here has push-pull, active, passive. But anyway, we're gonna tune it up real quick, right? And we're gonna try to figure out why Dad played this bass. Okay. First thing I want to do is basically, I keep throwing it out of there. Basically, turn everything off. Oh, I ain't even had to do that. I could just put everything in detent. And pull it out. And then the bass. And why did everybody like the Alembic? First of all, it had its own style. And Ed Whistle, I think that's his name, was killing on the Alembic basses, and Stanley Clarke was killing on the Alembic basses. But you know, I don't think my pop during that time really looked at Stanley Clarke because the videos weren't really out like that. But the albums were out. The albums, you know, LPs, they were hitting the market, and you know, I'm pretty sure he kind of heard it, but he really didn't go to it. But anyway, I'm trying to figure out why I don't come back to this bass and play it, because my dad did. Let's see why. Okay, rear pickup. I mean, but listen at the girth in this thing. Nothing is really on, really, but listen at the girth of this thing. And as far as speed, I'm really not that fast, but with the Alembic, I'm pretty fast. It just has that. It has that girth, that undergirth. Let's go to the front pickup. So it can, the Alembic could get a P bass sound, a jazz bass sound, and it could actually soup it up. What do you mean by souped up? Well, it had an active electronic in it, so whatever sound I wanted to go after, it could give me that sound. So why am I not playing this bass? My dad did. Your dad did. That's a Stanley clock move. The power that's within this bass is unbelievable. Now, I guess guys think if they change the preamp that the sound of the bass on this particular bass would change. It really won't change. The pickups are what it is. The bass is what it is. Only thing the preamp gonna do is pull everything up to like anywhere past 100 or 200 miles an hour. So that's what the Tone Monster's doing in this bass. It's picking it up another, let's say 125 miles an hour. All right, and it has different kinds of tonation switches on it. Mids. Here's the second inversion of the mids. Third inversion. Okay, and then I kind of like this one. Oh yeah, but you know, all three of the switches does well. But the bottom, most Olympics to us nowadays didn't care enough bottom. So when I put the Tone Monster in it, it did this. Listen. Now if I had the original preamp in this, me as of today, I wouldn't be really happy because the bass doesn't boost like you think it does. That's a serious boost. And the thing about it is I have the Tone Monster cube on the inside. I got it turned at D10. So if I open it all the way up, it would knock birds out of the trees. Look, sorry birds. That's just the mid cut. You turn the mids to 3/4 and you do this. That's crazy. That's just crazy. So why am I not playing this bass? I don't know. My dad played it. He played the Fender Jazz, left the Fender Jazz. He didn't leave it, but he picked up an Olympic, neck through. It's a beautiful kind of bass. It look like furniture. As far as the feel in my hand, it's unbelievable. I ain't gonna tell no tale. It's an unbelievable feel. Why am I not playing it? I don't know. So let's talk about this one. This is my first Music Man, my first active bass I ever owned. This is a 78 Music Man. This is not the original one I ever owned, the first one I ever owned. The first one I ever owned was a 77. And I got it off the streets of New York, on the ground. You want to hear that story? Hit me up. But this is a 78, all original. They sent me the cover. And the knobs, of course. They're radio knobs, but now the original ones. So, I'm not gonna tell you a tale on this one. I'm not going to tell you a tale. It took me about 25 years to get this bass, this particular bass. How many years? 25. And I could be shy of the 25. So, I'm pretty sure if my dad had an opportunity to get another active bass, it would have been this bass in the 70s. Just came out. We can't talk about Louis Johnson because basically we never seen him, only on album covers. Couldn't see him on television, but unless you looked at Don Kirshner. But to a lot of you cats, you don't even have no idea who Don Kirshner is. Look, I almost did, but he came on late night, so I had a chance to see different artists. My question is, why am I not playing this bass anyway? Because this is my favorite, one of my favorites. And I'm pretty sure my dad would have loved this bass. It has great bite. It has great bottom. It has everything going on. It's active. One pickup. Now, my dad would probably shy away from it during that time because it only had one pickup. Because back in those days, they felt that everything had to be big. The pickups had to be two of them, and the sound had to be big, and the bass had to be big, and a lot of wood and a lot of weight. So I keep asking myself, if my grandpa pop and my pop plays these basses, why am I not playing these basses? And the only thing I can come up with is a new generation. Right now, there's a lot of basses being built every day on a different scale. Do they sound like these basses? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say no, because the word is authenticity of these basses are second to none. You can get close to what these basses sound like, these old vintage basses, but you won't get that sound. You can sit there all day long and say you will. You will not. You will not get the sound that these things can put out. For those who have an ear, let them hear. For those who have an ear, let them hear. Anything that's vintage like this, it's already cured. So it has its own mojo. It's like this car. It's like the car. I mean, I hear guys running around here with these new cars and the mufflers all loud and tailpipes all loud. If I crank that car just is settled. But if I get down on it, she rumbles. And she rumbles differently. You know why? Because she's old. Everything in her is old. And by being old, it talks old. So same thing with these basses. So my question again is, if these basses and this car is so incredible, why am I not playing these basses? Why are you not playing these basses? Some of you guys may hit me up and go, oh, I still got mine, man. But the question is, how often do you play it? And do you want to play it? Well, because the new stuff is out right now, and new stuff feels better and got more power. Back in the day, it wasn't the bass that had the power. It was the amp that had the power. Nowadays, it's the bass got the power and the amp have the power. But you have to think of nowadays. Nowadays, you get a 2,000 watt amp that weighs 4 pounds. 2,000 watts, 4 pounds. These guys were using 80 watt amps, 130 watt amps. You know, of course they was enormously big and they put out a lot of sound, but the sound they put out was totally unremarkable. The old SVTs, the old acoustics, the old Fender amps, the old Stradales. I could just keep on going. I mean, it was just, you know, until the new stuff started coming in like SWR and Eaton. It was the Stradales and the Fenders and the Ampegs. You know, we don't use that stuff today because, of course, the Ampeg is too much to tote around for some people, and Stradales are too big to tote around, and of course the SVTs are way too much weight. You got to call your uncles, all your uncles, to come help put it in the car if it fits in the car. I think to end this, I think we're not going back to the things that made us what we are. Okay, I'm going to say that. Oh my God, thank you, Lord. The thing that made us what we are, our parents. Parents are old, but they got wisdom. These guitars are old. They carry mojo. They carry wisdom. They carry knowledge. You be like, well, what kind of wisdom, what kind of knowledge they got? Well, they actually made hits before you got here. Hits that's still here today. What you hear today of the basses that's made today, some basses got hits, don't get me wrong. But they don't carry hits like these basses that you're looking at right here. Let me move. You can say what you want to say. What you're looking at is completely historical hits. Every one of these basses started in the 70s and 60s. And from the 70s and 60s, they are still making noise. Not the 90s, not the 80s, you know, not the 2000s. We're talking 60s, 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And today, they still own recordings that we have no idea what they're playing, and it's these basses here. So my question again, guys, is why don't we play them? Why don't we take them out? Why don't we enjoy them? Why don't we listen to what they have to say? And for you young cats, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get off this. For you young cats, you may think your parents are old and don't know anything. The question is, if they didn't know anything, they wouldn't be around today to tell you anything. You know, you young brothers and sisters, y'all dying early, man. This is not, listen, you need to start listening to somebody who has wisdom and knowledge. You ain't got it. You haven't even arrived yet. Half of you guys are like 20s. You know, lifespan is shortening up. So I keep asking myself again, why don't I go back to the wisdom of sound? And that's what I'm gonna name this video, the wisdom of sound. Why don't we go back there, guys? You know, whatever your reason may be, maybe you should rethink your reason and start playing these sometime, because you need to get your ear used to some wisdom. Get your ear used to some wisdom. Wisdom. That's what these are. We sit around, I see guys on Facebook and YouTube, and they play, Pleasure. Nate Phillips, they play that. Of course, Nate played that with I think it was a 74 Jazz. I think Nate had a 74, 75 Jazz when he played that song. But to y'all need a 5-string and a 6-string to play. And I'm like, dude, you're not even relating to the tone of what he did. And his jazz wasn't even active, for those who ever talked to Nate. And then you had Jocko. His stuff wasn't active either. Stanley Clarke was the only one I know that came out, and Louis Johnson that came out and made the Olympic what it was. Lewis didn't play the Olympic that much. But when he did, you could hear the difference in his playing. For the P bass, you already know who I'm going to talk about for the P bass. You know, the funkster himself. Come on, guys. He played a P through all the Motown sounds. All the Motown sounds. All Stevie Wonder stuff. Marvin Gaye. Come on, guys. But we won't go back to it because it's not pretty and shiny and got colors on it, and it ain't got a preamp in it. So we don't go back to it. It ain't got no wisdom. It ain't got no juice. Got no juice. Listen, man. Once again, guys, I'm gonna ask myself, now I'm asking me, why am I not playing these basses? So I'm gonna make a petition today. I'm gonna start playing my basses. I'm gonna start playing them because they need to be played. Sitting in a closet in a storage area ain't doing them no good. That's history. I'm looking at history. All this is history. All of this is history. So I want to be part of history. I want to know why that bass made the sound it made. I want to know why that bass made the sound it made. I want to know why that bass stood the length of time. I want to know why that bass is still around. But we don't do that because, you know, we got 235 new builders and they building every day. They can build me something like that. Ain't that heavy. It's pretty. Got pretty colors on it. And it's got a different name. A P bass is a P bass. I don't care who makes it. I don't care if 90 builders make a P bass. Guess what it's gonna always be? A P bass. I don't care if it's 230 builders make a jazz bass. Guess what it's gonna always be? A jazz bass. You can copy the Olympic bass. The Kauai tried it. Kauai did it. An Olympic is an Olympic. That's what it is. It has its own voice, own characteristic. You can build one, but it won't be that bass. This bass I see every day online, on Marketplace, on Reverb, on not the original. And then the original is so, and I know what you're gonna say, oh man, if I try to get one of them, you know, they like 5Gs, 6Gs. Yeah, but you got history. Or you can go out and you can get the, you know, OLPs and the subs and the new Ernie balls. And then you know, all right, I got a Music Man, but you ain't got this one. You ain't got history. History is what it is. History. So guys, once again, listen, man. I love you guys all my heart, all my soul, all my mind. I love you guys. Just like I love God the most. And I thank God for allowing me to be historical. I'm historical right now. Because I'm still living in time. And I came from the early 50s. And I'm still here, living in time. So I have wisdom, yeah. Knowledge, yeah. If you ask for it. And that's what we need to do with these basses here. We need to go back and ask, what made you sound the way you sound? What made you take the tape like that? What made you sound this way on this record? And what made you sound this way on this record and this CD and that CD and nowadays? Because there are a lot of bass players that still using the old Fender Jazz, the old P bass, the Olympic, and there is still a lot of people using the old Music Man. I didn't say the new one, I said the older ones, from 70 to about 80, 81, 82. Once again, guys, thanks for coming by the Hobo Depot. Keep praying for the Hobo Depot, that we remain a watering hole. Keep praying for the Queen and I, because we love you guys and we pray for y'all every morning. I don't know what to say about Hootie, but I will say this. Shut the cock out, folks! John Leon, Hobo Depot. Be historical. Get your old bass.